All right, brain power time, because today we're going deep into memorization.
Sounds fun.
You ever feel like your memory is kind of like playing games with you?
Oh, all the time?
Like, why can I remember random trivia from forever ago, but I can't remember where I put my keys like 2 minutes ago?
I know, right?
Yeah.
That's so weird.
Makes no sense.
The source for today's deep dive is actually really reassuring.
Oh, good.
It's called Practical Guide, Memorization,
Okay.
and Accelerating Memory with Neuroscience.
Oh, nice.
It says we're not stuck with like the memory we're born with.
Oh, thank goodness.
Yeah.
Because some days I swear I have the worst memory ever.
Really?
Yeah, this guide says it's going to bust memory myths.
It does, yeah.
And help us actually get better at remembering things.
Exactly.
But, like, first of all,
yeah.
Is photographic memory even a thing?
Well, that's one of the things the guide debunks.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell me more.
So photographic memory, like how it's shown in movies.
Right.
It doesn't really exist. Even people with amazing visual memory, they don't have perfect recall, like a camera.
Oh, wow.
It's not about getting every detail perfectly. The fascinating thing is, memory is actually a reconstructive process.
What does that mean?
So every time we remember something, our brains are like piecing it together.
Okay.
And it's influenced by, our emotions, the situation, even our mood at that moment.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So it's not just a recording. It's like our brain is making a new version.
Yeah, each time.
Every time.
Every time.
Wow.
Okay, so if it's not a recording, how do we get better at it?
Well, the guide goes into this concept called neuroplasticity.
Okay.
Which basically means our brains are always changing.
Right.
Like adapting. It's like a muscle.
Okay.
The more we use it, the stronger it gets.
Got it.
And for memory, this means we can train our brains.
So you're saying if I'm bad at remembering names, I can work on that?
Really? Like I'm not just doomed.
You're not doomed.
Oh, that's good news.
It's not about some, like, talent for memory.
Right.
It's about actively working with the information.
Okay.
And using techniques that harness that neuroplasticity.
Okay, like what?
So, for example, there's spaced repetition.
Spaced repetition.
Where you review information at different intervals.
Okay.
Kind of like, muscle memory.
Yeah.
You work out those connections, they get stronger.
So, like, reviewing my notes a few times a week is better than cramming the night before.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
And there are other techniques, too,
cool.
that use this neuroplasticity.
Like what?
Like creating association.
Association.
So, connecting new information to things you already know.
Oh, okay.
It's like cross-training for your brain.
I like that.
You're building multiple pathways to get to that knowledge.
So it's not just about tricks, it's about how our brains work.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And the guide talks about this idea of active learning.
Active learning.
Which is about, like, going beyond just passively absorbing things.
Yeah.
And really engaging with the information.
Okay.
Imagine reading a really dense textbook.
Yeah.
If you're just highlighting and skimming, you're not really making those brain connections.
Right.
But if you're like summarizing, asking questions, even teaching it to someone else, you're making your brain work.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
It's about actively making sense of it.
So I've been doing it wrong this whole time.
Maybe.
But if we're treating our brain like a muscle, what about the rest of our body?
Oh, that's important too.
Does our health affect our memory?
Absolutely.
Really?
The guy talks about treating memory holistically.
Holistically.
Like an athlete needs rest and fuel,
Yeah.
Our brains need the right care.
Okay, so we're talking about sleep, diet, exercise.
All that stuff.
If I have to admit, sometimes I don't get enough sleep.
I feel that.
Could that be messing with my memory?
It definitely could.
Really?
Yeah. So the guide explains that sleep is super important.
Okay.
For memory consolidation.
Memory consolidation.
So while we sleep, our brains are organizing information.
Oh, wow.
Making those connections stronger.
So when I stay up late?
Yeah.
I'm messing that up.
It can interfere with the process.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
It's not good.
Leading to problems with, remembering things.
Okay, I'm definitely going to try to get more sleep.
Good idea.
All right, before we get into all the techniques in this guide, I think we need to tackle those memory myths.
Oh, yeah. Let's bust some myths.
Let's do it.
Give you a clearer picture of how memory actually works.
I'm ready.
Yeah.
Last time we were talking about how memory is a process, right?
Right.
And that our brains are like always adapting.
Always.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah, it's amazing.
But I'm ready to like actually use this stuff.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
This guide has so many techniques.
It does.
And I want to know, like, what are the more advanced ones? The ones that can, like, really help me remember things better.
So building on that idea of active learning, there's this technique that uses sensory memory.
Sensory memory.
Which means engaging all your senses.
Wait, all of them?
Not just sight, but like sound, touch, even smell and taste.
Really? All of them?
To create these richer, more vivid memories.
Okay.
It's like a multidimensional experience.
So instead of just like reading about history, I should try to imagine I'm actually there.
Yeah.
Like the sights, the sounds.
Exactly.
Even the smells.
Yes, all of it.
Wow.
So you're creating this immersive experience that's more likely to stick.
That makes sense.
Think about it.
Yeah.
What's easier to remember? Facts on a page or a story you lived?
Definitely this story.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
So it's about adding those sensory layers.
Okay, but how do I like actually do that?
Yeah.
Like if I'm studying for a test, should I be lighting candles and playing music?
Maybe not a full-on sensory overload.
Okay.
But the principle still applies. You can still activate multiple senses.
Okay.
Like instead of just reading your notes silently,
try
reading them out loud.
Out loud.
Or record yourself and listen back.
Oh, so I'm using my ears and my eyes.
Right.
What about touch?
Oh, yeah.
I like writing notes.
I do too.
Like actually writing them.
There's something about it.
Yeah.
That physical connection and drawing diagrams can help solidify those memories.
More than typing?
I think so.
Wow, I rely on just seeing things too much.
Maybe.
I need to use all my senses.
Try it out.
What else does this guide say?
Let's talk about language.
Okay.
And verbal memory techniques.
Verbal?
There's this one, the 3-2-1 recall method.
3-2-1?
Yeah.
Tell me more.
It's about repetition and expressing information differently. So first, you read something 3 times.
3.
Then you say it out loud twice.
Okay.
Focusing on clear speech.
Got it.
And then you write down the key points once.
So reading, speaking, writing, hitting it from all angles.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
It forces you to engage on different levels.
Okay.
Like a workout for your verbal memory.
I like that.
Right.
Yeah, building that mental muscle.
Exactly.
But how do I stay focused?
Oh, that's tough.
Sometimes my mind wanders.
I feel you.
And I end up reading the same thing like 5 times.
Totally.
And not remembering any of it.
That's where the Pomodoro technique can help.
Pomodoro? I thought that was for like productivity.
It is.
Not memory.
But it can help with both.
Really?
So you set a timer for 25 minutes of focused work.
Okay.
Then a 5-minute break.
Got it.
And after 4 cycles, a longer break.
So it's like intervals?
Yeah, like interval training.
For my brain.
Exactly.
So I don't get burned out.
You work with your attention span. And when you're focused, you absorb more.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
I'm always trying to study for hours straight.
Yeah, me too.
And then I wonder why nothing is sticking.
Right.
Maybe those breaks are what we need.
It's like working smarter, not harder.
Exactly.
Remember that Feynman technique?
Oh, yeah. I love that one.
Could we like combine it with something else?
We could.
What do you think?
Pairing it with mind mapping could be powerful.
Mind mapping.
So after you've explained the concept simply, you create a mind map.
Okay.
That visually shows the key points.
So I'm like turning my words into a picture.
You got it.
That's cool.
It helps you see the big picture.
Right.
And any gaps in your understanding. And it solidifies the connections between things.
So I'm using both sides of my brain, the analytical and the creative.
Exactly.
This is changing how I think about studying.
It's a shift in perspective.
Yeah. Instead of just highlighting, I'm like making it my own.
And that's key for making memories.
Okay, but sometimes I feel like I need to embrace forgetting.
Oh, interesting.
I know. It sounds weird.
Yeah.
But it's like there's so much information.
I know. It's overwhelming.
How do I decide what to keep and what to let go?
Think of it like organizing a closet.
Okay.
You wouldn't keep everything.
No.
You keep what you wear, what you love, what's useful.
Yeah.
It's the same with information.
So if it's not useful to me, it's okay to forget it.
Let it go.
That's a relief.
Right.
Yeah.
It's about prioritizing.
And we can't forget about technology.
Oh, yeah. Technology is huge.
I'll use my phone for everything.
Me too.
Calendar, to-do list.
It's like an external brain.
Right.
We don't have to remember everything.
Yeah.
We can let technology do it for us.
Freeing up space.
Exactly.
For other stuff.
The guide actually talks about to-do list apps.
To-do lists?
Yeah. They can be game changers.
I use them, but maybe I need to like step it up.
Find a system that works for you.
Okay.
There's this connection the guide makes between memory and creativity.
Really?
Yeah, it's fascinating.
I always thought they were separate.
But our memories are the foundation for creativity.
So, like, when I'm writing a story, I'm using my memories.
All those experiences, knowledge.
It comes together.
It's all connected.
That's so cool.
So by improving memory, we're boosting creativity.
I like that.
But we also need to acknowledge that we don't always have control over memory.
That's true.
Like Alzheimer's, you mentioned.
Are there other things, too?
There are, unfortunately. So the guide mentions things like Parkinson's, mood disorders, even medications that can affect memory.
So if we have serious memory problems, we should see a doctor.
Definitely.
Okay.
We might not always be in control.
Right.
But we can use the tools we have.
But do our best.
To optimize our brains.
This has been amazing.
It's fascinating, right?
I'm seeing memory in a whole new way.
I'm glad.
It's not just something I'm stuck with.
No.
It's a skill.
It is.
I can work on it.
Absolutely.
I feel like I have more control now.
And there's no one right way.
That's good.
It's about finding what works for you.
What about fragmentation?
Oh, yeah. That's a good one.
The guide mentioned it.
It's about breaking things down into smaller chunks.
But instead of like a whole project,
Yeah.
I should do smaller tasks.
Like building a house.
Okay.
You wouldn't build it all at once.
Right.
One step at a time.
So like studying for an exam instead of cramming smaller sections.
Break it down.
Okay.
The guide suggests using criteria.
Criteria? Like what?
Location, deadline, budget.
Oh, interesting.
Whatever works for you.
What's less overwhelming?
That's the goal.
I try to do too much at once.
It's easy to do.
I need to use this fragmentation thing.
It can really help.
It's like my brain can't handle it all.
It has limits.
Fragmentation helps with that.
It reduces the strain.
Makes me more efficient.
Exactly.
So it works for work projects, studying, even grocery lists.
It's a versatile technique.
It's a reminder that even big things can be broken down.
Into smaller steps.
And that can change my whole perspective.
From overwhelmed to empowered.
Exactly.
That's a great way to put it.
Okay, that's it for part 2.
Wow. Time flies.
Join us next time for even more techniques.
Can't wait.
Welcome back to our final deep dive into memory.
I'm excited for this one.
I'm feeling super inspired by all these techniques.
Me too.
But sometimes, I don't know.
Yeah.
Learning feels kind of like a chore.
Oh, I know what you mean.
Are there any methods that are like more creative?
Definitely.
That make remembering fun?
This guide says learning shouldn't be a chore.
Okay.
It should be fun.
Right.
And creativity can make it more effective.
I like that. So tell me, what are some creative memory techniques?
So let's start with something simple.
Right.
Rhymes.
Rhyme.
Remember mnemonics?
Okay.
Rhymes are like that.
Okay.
But they use rhythm and sound patterns.
Oh, yeah, like those rhyming books.
Exactly. I loved those as a kid.
Our brains love patterns. Rhymes create a structure that helps us remember.
So instead of just memorizing a definition, I could make a rhyme.
Yeah.
To help me remember it.
Exactly. Let's say you're learning about types of clouds.
Clouds?
Okay. Instead of just their names, you could rhyme.
Okay.
Like, cirrus clouds are wispy and high. Cumulus clouds are fluffy and nigh.
Oh, I like that.
Stratus clouds are flat and gray. Nimbus clouds bring rain all day.
That's way more fun than just memorizing.
It's like a song.
Yeah.
You're engaging different parts of your brain.
Making those connections.
Now, building on connecting information.
Yeah.
There's the montage technique.
Montage, okay.
It's about seeing the relationships between different pieces of information. So instead of isolated facts, I'm weaving them together.
Into a story, a mental map.
Like if I'm studying history, instead of just dates and events, I could make a timeline.
A visual timeline.
Or imagine I'm living through it.
You're a time traveler.
That's so cool.
It's a mental movie.
Way better than a textbook.
More senses, stronger memory.
Okay, what else?
Let's add alliteration.
Alliteration?
It uses the same sounds at the beginning of words.
Okay.
To make it memorable.
So if I'm bad at names, I could use alliteration. Like how?
Imagine you meet Sarah, who sings beautifully.
Okay, Sarah the singer.
You can remember her as Singing Sarah.
Singing Sarah, I like it.
The repeated S sound makes it stick.
Oh, that's clever.
And it works for more than just names.
Really?
Lists, facts, concepts.
Be creative, find the connections. I've been limiting myself.
We all do sometimes.
To just the usual ways of learning.
It's good to try new things.
I need to be more creative.
Our brains love that.
It makes it more fun.
And more effective.
One last thing.
Yeah?
Note-taking.
Oh, that's crucial.
The guide talks a lot about it.
It's not just about writing things down.
What is it about then?
It's about actively engaging.
So like...
Summarizing, questioning, adding your own thoughts.
Okay.
It's making it your own.
There are different ways, right?
Yeah. Linear notes, mind maps, diagrams.
I like mind maps.
Me too. But sometimes I focus too much on making them look nice.
And forget about the content.
It happens.
It's about understanding and remembering.
That's the goal.
This has been amazing.
It's been fun, right?
I see memory differently now.
That's great to hear.
It's not just something I'm stuck with.
You have more power than you think.
I feel like I can actually improve.
You absolutely can.
This deep dive has given me so much confidence.
I'm so glad to hear that.
I'm ready to use these techniques.
It's about finding what works for you.
And remembering that learning is a journey.
A lifelong journey.
Be curious, experiment, don't underestimate our brains.
They're capable of amazing things.
That's it for our deep dive into memory.
Wow, that went by fast.
I hope you enjoyed exploring with us.
I know I did.
The best memory tool is the one you create.
So true.
So go out there, experiment, unlock your potential.
Have fun with it.
Thanks for joining us.
See you next time.